for the Masters. For those that are new to the format are used in Victoria for the Masters, they basically played yesterday to cut the field down. They then played a round robin against all the players remaining, and the top 3 players that were left are now basically playing off for the title. So they've basically got 4 players left. Steve Gray has automatically been put into that last 4 after winning the world title. And he consists of Cran Wrigley, currently playing Steve now, and the other 2 players are Don Colbert and Jimmy Reen, and Terry Bond narrowly missed out on getting his top 4 spot in the very last frame of the day. Derek Green played a massive black to end Bondy's hope, but he is first emergency. And now these guys are playing basically elimination now, so they'll the winner of each match will play the final, and the winner of that will be the Victorian Masters champion. And Cran called Steve out on this match. He said, I want the world champion. So let's see what he can do with him. At the moment, he's in a little bit of trouble. This shot here to the centre, he's going to have to use a fair bit of right-hand side. Not near enough. Needed to really get into that and actually come off 2 and come opposite side of the table. But he has given himself a shot and a chance. Probably hitting the jaws like that and leaving the white there was probably his best result given the path. Difficult shot to the centre. And if you can just take the white ball through a bit, which I think the natural path will take. This yellow passes the black and the red to the right centre. I can't tell from the camera angle. I feel it doesn't, but if I say that, it probably will. And that is a very nice pot from Cran. Would have liked to have been off the cushion, so navigating between these 2 balls would have been easier, and this out is actually way, way harder now. If that yellow near the black does pass the centre, you almost have to play it now and come off side bottom cushion and swing back around under the 2 yellows and be on them again. And once again, you will not want to be on the cushion. I have a feeling it's not on though, and I think this out will not happen. Very, very tough from here. May choose to try and jack up, but even the bottom, taking the white towards the red over the pocket, and it's a very dodgy angle. Running through at pace isn't going to really help either. He's going to take the bottom of him, but I think he's just going to try and force through this. I don't see putting this over the hole would be that bad actually. It'll cut off 1 red and at least make Steve have to work for the out. I just don't see how you can make this out from here. And that's exactly what he's chosen to do. And that's a smart shot from Cran. He recognised that, you know what, trying to actually negotiate position for the next 2 shots was probably close to impossible. So I will force Steve to either pot the ball over the hole and try and commit, or play a return safety. And Steve says, I'm too smart to pot this ball over the hole, Cran. I will play a safety. No, I will just play a massive pot. Has not really helped Steve to advance though to finish the frame at this visit, so we'll probably see a safety shot coming up next. Probably will double this ball that he's sort of closest to centre table and just leave the white ball on the cushion and try and leave him off that ball over the pocket. I am very wrong, of course, and that's an interesting choice of shot there from Steve, and that basically confirms to me that that yellow near the black does not go to the centre. But Cran has a good chance here to possibly double this yellow onto the ball over the pocket. I don't think that yellow that's sort of on the black spot in snooker is in the way. I think the yellow will sneak past it. But Cran's not really looking at that by the looks of things. He's got other ideas. I'm not sure what he's looking at. He's obviously looking at potting this ball and trying to get behind that yellow at the bottom of the 2, but still the question remains, what do you do with this yellow if it doesn't pass the centre? So cushion first, just to create more angle. Nicely played. That's a very, very good shot. He even has angle to go into this now. If you can actually get a cannon on that black. So as you can see, above the yellow, the angle you need to hit that black at, you need to just miss the yellow and catch the black. Basically needs to be perfectly played. He's just looking at it now. This is a very difficult shot to get perfect all the time. I think he's got much shot. That's an excellent shot. Now, I just explained that shot on how to play it, and he's played it to a tee, and you're probably thinking, well, it wasn't that hard. If he just catches a yellow at all first there, he probably snookers himself, or at least gives himself no pot. That is an excellent, excellent little cannon to take the first frame. And I thought Steve's shot was a bit loose by just kicking his ball out. He basically said, Cran, you're no good. You'll chop this frame up and I'll win the first frame after you do. And Cran says, no, sorry, Steve, I am up to the task. And here is our other semi-final. Not sure who's on what yet. Looks like Donnie's on reds. He's in a bit of strife. He's going to need to pull out a large double and does. Oh, this just does my head in this. He just lined it up for less than a second, just smashes it in. But no position on the black and will require at least another good double. You'll also need to negotiate the white here for no double kiss on the way back through. So you can see him there, what his intentions are. Basically, here's where I want it to cushion, there's the angle. Difficult sort of shots, these face cuts, because you've got a fair bit of distance away from the cushion. There's a fair bit of distance to travel. And that is probably one of the most ridiculous outs I've actually seen of the 2-ball pots. Jimmy would have been thinking it was impossible. You can actually see Jimmy smiling there. He knew that that was basically a low percentage out, but you only got to get him once, and Donnie has done so. Back to Steve Gray v Cran Wrigley, and I can only assume Steve broke, and he has been amongst them since. That's a very nice pot from Steve. I think he's landed a touch straight on this yellow, or with angle going towards the top end of the table, so he's probably obviously going to take a bit of time to reassess. I don't know if he can deep screw and just miss that yellow and then come and play for the one that's on the left-hand side of the table. To me, that seems like probably the shot. Did toy with the idea of a double there, as you saw. I think if you're going to double that, you're better off doubling it to the centre. It looks like he's going to play the screw off the side cushion. Kicks the. Oh, he had a good angle to kick the yellow out, and unfortunately for Steve, yellow stuck to the rail a touch, and he's basically got to play a shot here where he can't really guarantee perfect position on his next ball, because he is trusting you to a touch luck when he comes into these balls from the bottom end of the table. Well, as I say that, he's actually played that with some excellent precision. Very well played. And now Steve has a good chance to just drop this in the centre. Won't need to do too much. You'll know you'll just be happy with the pot on this last yellow, and the position on the black will be probably the next toughest thing. He played that well too. Great shot again from Steve. He's done everything right in this frame. His position has been absolutely perfect. Ben Noonan would have been proud of that. And a nice shot there from Donnie. Donnie looks like he's on at the moment. I can tell you right now from experience, these tables are very difficult to play deadweight shots at across from one angle of the table to the other. They do drift a touch, and they're quite challenging in that regard. Yeah, Donnie's on the gear. He's just flying through these. What's going on? He might be freewheeling. He's in the team. He's just having some fun. Excellent shot there from Donny. He's just drawn back perfect. Choice of 2 balls. Will take the one above the white as he's looking now. It looks pretty much dead straight, and then he can just hold the white. Would like to screw back a little bit here just to try and get straight on that yellow. That way he doesn't have to do anything at all. But even if he doesn't, he can stun across left side of the table, put the black in the bottom right. So it's no big deal. But the important thing is to get this pot. Now he's actually decided to do the opposite of what I've suggested, and that's not play that other ball first. We might see him roll this as well. He does like to roll balls dead weight, Donny, so we might see him roll this one. Oh, there's a nice angle there from Dan, and I was right, he did roll it. He does play the dead weight shot well, Donny, and we might even see him roll this one too. And if this were to go over the pocket, if he did miss it, Steve would actually have a pretty tough shot to play. But that has gone in, and he's 2-0 up. That's a pretty good out from Donny. And Jimmy Reen has some work to do. That's 1-1 too, mate. I'll tell you something I like about this match that we're watching now is Steve Gray has a pretty strong tactical game and generally will beat most players using that ability. And he's also a pretty strong pot positional player, but I think Cran's a pretty good match for him in that area. Cran quite crafty around the table and not the worst potter in the world either. So to me, this is a pretty good match, a pretty good matchup. And that's a pretty smart shot there from Steve. He's basically said, I'm leaving you nothing. Well, nothing easy. I mean, he does have the chop in the middle, but he's got hampered bridging. But just trying to look at this angle. I think if he cuts this in, I think he's just going wide of that red at the top end of the tables. He'd love to cannon it full ball. Oh, he's left him on this one. Well, that makes a big difference to things. And now Cran has a pretty good angle here, I think, to play this ball to the right of the 4 and go into the red. Just try and open up that hampered yellow at the top of the table. Might have too much angle and it's going past the red, but yeah, difficult to see on camera. I think might be a touch wide. But he's playing it. He might be going to stun off the side rail and go into one. Doesn't like it. If he doesn't like it, he should actually probably pot the ball in the middle and give himself a better angle. That's what he's doing. He could actually run right through here, get on the ball on the side cushion, leave himself an angle, and that's what he's done, but he's come off the rail a bit. I would love to have seen that on the cushion. He would have had a good angle to just nudge in the bottom side of that yellow and just flick it past the red a little. But he's still got plenty of options available here. He can drop this in and give himself an angle on the ball to the centre and to cannon the red, but he's going a different way again. Decides to promote. Oh, he's concentrated too much on the cannon and missed the pot. However, he has completely obliterated that red. It's going nowhere other than a double or some kind of cannon to kick it out. So while Cran seems to have control, Steve has control of the black end of the table with all these balls up here. So if he gets this over the pocket, Cran's like, wow, this dead red's doesn't mean much to me at all now. And that's exactly what Steve's done. He was clever enough to make sure that he didn't try and cover the pocket neatly. He just covered the side of the table that restricted the black from going in. And that's a good lesson to learn for players that try and sit balls too neat and they'll either leave the gap or they'll accidentally pot it. Don't always have to sit it neat. Just got to cut off the angle that's required. And Clarion says, well, I'm going to promote my ball and leave you nothing. Don't know if I like that shot because Steve's just going to push through this now and he knows Cran can't pot this black in one without either a good cannon or a big shot. So this is all going to come down to basically, okay, the yellows are very easy to pot, but what do you do with the black? And the worst part for Cran, if it's on the side roll, it'll actually be better. Because one, you could play for probably a double, or it's actually easier to play from that end of the table and get a kick out. It's really hard to get a kick out from that end of the table the way the balls are. So I'll be interested to see what he does here. Even if he does get a kick out, he's got to actually get it to a point where it's at least potable in the middle, because it will not go in either corner from what looks of things. You can see he's going, oh, how's this double go to the centre? Low percentage, no matter who you are. He may not feel like he has a choice. I don't think he's potting this, is he? No, he is. Okay, well, he has given himself a pretty good angle to get down this end of the table where he wants to be, but like I said, I think he was lining up the double to the centre, the left centre. He may just choose to come down the middle of the table and play for a double at the top right. Either way you look at this, he's got to play a pretty large shot to win the frame. Otherwise, he's going to basically lose the frame, because all of Steve's balls are pretty much unmissable. He's gone for the kick out, and that's what happens when you have to play a big shot sometimes. Things do not go your way, and he has created the foul. Steve says, thank you very much for the easy 2-shot out. I was going to do this in one, but I will now have 2 instead, and even please the crowd and just use a bit of jaw. Well, that's a pretty average shot, actually. Would have liked to have pulled up half a foot, but obviously I think you'll still be okay. But and that's over the hole. So basically now this is just going to come down to potting the black clean. Wow, he did not play for that. Was playing for ball on ball there, 99.9% positive, but he's still all good. And I don't really see this going wrong. So this will be 2-1 to Steve, barring a fairly bad miss. That is off the rail a bit, that black, so it's not that difficult. In it goes, and 2-1 to Steve. I think we got confirmation this is best of 7. And Donnie's still 2-0 up over there, and at the table again. Not sure if they may have actually already played another frame since this one. We'll try and find out. But Donnie's big chance here. Tell you what, not afraid to play the long-range dead weight shot is Don Colbert. Already played about 4 so far that we've seen. This is probably going to be another one. Incredible. I can't tell you how difficult those dead weight shots are to play on these tables. I mean, that one didn't go in, but it's pretty close, and he has a very high level of control of this frame at the moment. In fact, I don't know if Jimmy's got much choice but just chip that red over and just block the yellow. And I think he's come to the same conclusion. You know what? I can't win this frame. I'm going to have to just put this over the top of the yellow and smother it and create a half-an-hour frame. But you do what you need to do to stay in frames. Otherwise, you might as well just write 3-0 on that scoreboard. Tough shot this to get perfect, especially with the rest. And he's hit it pretty short. He still won't be too upset for the next shot because he's left him off probably the out. But he's still going to want to smother it better than that. Donnie's just said, you know what, I'm just going to open everything up here and make sure there's no traffic in the way of anything. And that's not bad. I think Jimmy's still forced to play the same shot he did earlier and just push the red even closer to the yellow. He's just searching for another option. You can see he's just looking at every ball on the table saying, what can I do with this ball? What can I do with this ball? But I think the end result's going to be still the same, and he needs to try and get a smother on this yellow. But other ideas, unless he's chopping us down thin, but that's pretty risky. And he's gone. Oh, he's actually tried to play a good white, good pot. He tried to get sort of a decent white as well if it did go over the pocket, and still would have made a pretty tricky sort of out. But he's still in a position of, okay, well, I've just got that good big pot, but I'm in still huge trouble here. Could overcut this red and try and take the white up in behind the other red. Not the easiest of shots to have to play, but it might be one of the best options. Could play this ball on the left-hand side of the table down over the pocket. If he does choose to do that, yeah, I would be getting rid of this red first for sure. Jimmy just said, oh God, I don't know, I don't want to miss this, because he probably has to give it a bit. He wants to try and get a bit straighter on that red by the looks of things. No, he's played the shot I've said, but he's left the ball over the hole. So he's basically saying, well, I need you to eliminate that traffic and chop up. And this might not be as easy as it looks, because I don't think you can get to the thinnest edge of this yellow. Taking a cushion first could be dodgy. You're going straight into the red. Might not be guaranteed a decent shot. And I think the best way here is actually to jack up and screw out of this, but that's not Donnie's strength, a shot like this. So let's see what happens. So he did take a cushion first, but as I suggested, he could leave himself not really a good shot, and that's exactly what's happened. Can't really take this yellow top left. I think he goes in off the middle, so he's kind of forced to take this one. He's lying up now up to the pocket where the black is. And if he does get this pot, his white ball sort of be in a similar spot but not hard up on the rail. And he'll have a tough pot on his last yellow. I reckon he's going to hope this doesn't go in. Wow, that was a lot thinner than I thought. In fact, that has actually rolled. He's hit that perfect. A very good position on the yellow. It would have been a certainty to win the frame from there, I would say. Still in a good position, but I've seen many a frame lost from positions like this where a player can just play one good shot, turn it around, and then either get a really good snooker or make a miracle type out. So when you're a player that's just played that shot Donnie has, you always want that to go in. I don't think you should ever be satisfied that it's just gone over the hole and covered the black, for example. Filthy that doesn't go in, if that's me. But he has to settle for it, so now he's just got to wait and see what Jimmy's going to come up with. I don't see anything immediately easy. So Jimmy's basically saying, well, I don't like what the white is now. I'm going to have to pop this ball over the hole, get positioned somewhere else. Not sure what he's played for there. This ball on the rail, like, he wants to move it. He really wants to move it because it's basically stopping him from potting out if Donny does fail to make the out when he commits. So he wants to move it. Problem with this shot, though, is it does give Donny an opportunity to commit. So that's why he's in two minds. I think he doesn't have a lot of choice. I think he has to move that ball. I think even if he gets this double, it's just a pointless attempt. He's actually gone for a snooker. And I tell you what, that's pretty well played. That was actually a very good shot Jimmy's come up with there. Now, if I'm anyone but Donny, I'd probably swerve this and just make contact on the yellow. But there's no way in a million years is he going to swerve with no tip. Well, I shouldn't say no tip, but he has a very, very low tip. Basically not possible to swerve with. So he says, I'll just put the black really close to my yellow and make it very difficult for you, Jimmy. And now Jimmy's thinking, oh, I should have played the red. It's near the cushion. But is this red potable near the cushion to the centre in one? I reckon it might be. You have to play it obviously dead weight. Could even like have an angle too to kick it out. I think the other red's in the way. Got the back double available as well. Playing these back doubles is it's basically boots in. It's a full committal shot. Whereas if you play this ball here and try and come around the angles, you might give yourself an angle for the kick out. But he's going boots in, and he's underhit it by some margin. So now the question is, does this black go inside the yellow? And if it does, then Donny's actually played a very poor shot. Okay, I'm not sure what Jimmy's plan is here, because even if that black does get inside, I don't even go the way he just went then. So let's find out what happens. It's got to be on. There's no way you'd be potting all these for no reason. It's got to be on. He would have looked for some kind of snooker or safety like he did that last shot where he played that clever little bounce off the rail and snooker. I just don't see how this black is not on. He's given himself, I'll tell you what, if he has to take it off the jaw, he's landed in a pretty good spot. He would have liked to come down the table another foot to play it off the jaw. So he's going to have to screw off it now, but he should still be right if he's... So I'm actually standing up and having a look at the table, and to me this looks like it actually flies in. If Donny's played a pretty bad shot. He does have to screw off a bit or stun off it. Oh, he actually caught the yellow thick, and that's why it didn't go. If he actually doesn't catch the yellow on the way through and just hits the jaw, it probably would have swallowed it. But he caught that yellow pretty thick, and so it jawed. Donny's going to try and play this off the bottom end of the black, and he'll want this over the hole, I reckon. Oh, I don't know if that's enough. Hard to tell. Might have cut the black off from potting, but Jimmy might be able to get it right in front and cause some headaches. Important frame is for Jimmy. He was 2-0 down, he's 2-1, this is for 2-all. Oh, well, it went clean. So 2-all. Give himself some airtime there. That just flew in, and he played it like it was some really hard, difficult shot where he had to hit it perfect just to get in front. So, oh, we got 2-all here as well. So Cran's pegged one back, and Steve on yellow. So Cran's got a touch of control of this frame at the moment. Well, that's not a good shot from Steve. Might even see that yellow that Steve just put there. We might even see Cran play the red off it and try and get his red down over the pocket. That's what he did try and do, and that's actually not a good shot because Steve can now kick his ball out the top end of the table out into the open. That's exactly what he's going to do. He's going to say, I am now going to go a shot ahead in this frame rather than a shot behind. Oh, what a great shot from Cran. That is actually a sensational shot, that. Now he's a shot ahead. That was a very, very good shot. Steve does have a chance to make this out. It is very difficult. The key to making this out as well is you must eliminate that yellow bottom end of the table to the right of the two, because it's stopping the path of the other one going to the right, bottom right corner. So he'll want to get rid of that as soon as possible and then work his way into getting an angle to come the left side of the table behind that red that's covered. Well, I'll tell you what, he's just made that task pretty hard with that red there as well. Can't afford to give two, can't afford to just kick it out. I don't even think he can afford to smother this. I still think he's almost forced to play the pinpoint positional shot later on in this out. Steve says, shut up, Jamie. I have a sensational tactical game and I will play this shot. And he plays it thin, overplays it, and leaves Cran a thin cut onto a ball over the pocket. And if he gets this, and the white ball doesn't get lost amongst the traffic, should take a 3-2 lead. Well, would have liked to have not been stuck on a ball. I think his cueing's still okay. But if you just had that white ball in clear space, there'd be no... It can kind of make you get a bit twitchy when you're close to a ball like this and you cannot hit the object ball where you want to. Okay, so he's actually bridging a bit, so I reckon he's going to drop this in dead weight now. Wow. And he has nuked himself, has he? So as I said, that plant, when I said negotiating the traffic, that little bridging that he had has just made him lose position even more, and now a simple three ball out has actually become quite difficult. And it's just little things like that that can happen. So the swerve shot coming up, doesn't want to catch this too thick, otherwise the white will follow. Doesn't like it. That cross table shot doesn't look on either. I think the swerve shot's his only option. Could play the black down there, but you'd have to get it right in front of to hit the red and promote it better. Played that well, played it very well, nearly the swerve. He nearly hit it too full to take the white, and you saw the white just fly towards the pocket after contact, but played it well enough to not follow, and gives himself as good a shot as he probably could have got on the black. Now just needs to follow up the previous excellent shot. And Cran don't miss them too often, and he will take a 3-2 lead and put himself on the hill. The current world champion Steve Gray under the pump. Donnie covering up, wants to consolidate. He was 2-0 up this match, and he's now 2-all. Wants to just slow Jimmy down a bit and say, listen, I need to get another frame of the board to restamp my authority. And Jimmy just will probably promote this, I'm going to guess. Although I don't like this. I don't like if you just promote it. That's a better shot, because that way at least you're going to cover something if you do miss the pot. That's pretty good. Donnie still just... surely he just plays the double here. The top left of the two, surely he just plays the double. And if he does get it, he's right behind the other one. And even if he doesn't, that other yellow's not too bad. It's still, it's still not that tricky to get on to another pocket. So I'm pretty sure it goes left centre as well. So here's the double. He's lining it up. And this shot, you actually kind of have to play dead weight. I don't even know if the angle's there to play it dead weight. No, it was. He's actually played it pretty well. In fact, he's actually cut it too much. As it turns out, because he's gone across the face of that, if he actually played it dead straight, he would have been perfect. So now Jimmy says, okay, I'm going to try and get this pocket now. Risky shot this. Tell you what, played that well as well. There's been some very good shots played this couple of matches. Not sure if Jimmy wanted that or not. Given where the white ball is, he had a pretty good white. But he just threw his arm a little bit at that. And well, he's got the kick out and pushed on his yellow safe. If Donny can make this one double, and it is a pretty bit of a shot to nothing too, because Donny's got plenty of cover bottom right, so Donny can afford to have a crack at this and run the white off 2 or 3. And that's what he's done, but he hasn't gone past. I don't think he's actually played for that gap. I think he's tried to play for the left middle. But he still has this pot down the bottom left. Looks on, holding the white for the ball that he's closest to now. Doesn't seem a possibility. So it'll be interesting to see where this white goes. I think it's going to go through all those 2 reds on. Oh wow, he's actually held that well. That's a great shot. Held that very well. His dead weight touch is sensational today. Now the next question for Donny is how do you get position? I reckon he's got to check the table where he's got the angle to come through and play this yellow cushion first. That's what he's checking right now. So I don't think he can drop this in. He may have to play this at pace, stun off the side rail and back across. If he feels like he can play it dead weight, he will. Otherwise, he's going to have to stun off the side rail. And then he'll have cushion first. He'll be playing for the probably the right centre on the black. Good shot. He's overplayed it though by absolute kilometre and landed in a territory of death. So the foul coming up, the deliberate foul, pushing another red down. And Cran will actually be buzzing. Sorry, not Cran. Jimmy will be buzzing that he actually gets to the table. He won't, even if it is horrible 2 shots to have to deal with, he's still in the frame now. Oh yeah, we'll stay on. We'll move to this match because this is 3-all. Steve Gray has responded, and Cran is actually on and out to advance to the final. I'm actually going to make the call now. Whoever wins this match right here will win the whole thing. I think Cran's playing pretty good. I've always been a fan of Cran's game. Oh, and he's just tried to create the angle with the white and missed the pot. He sacrificed pot for cannon. And we see that happen so often. And I'm sure no matter who you are, you've been guilty of it at one stage or another. And Steve Gray now will go, thank you for doing that, Cran, because I am going to have a crack at these. I actually don't see much going wrong for Steve here as long as his white ball's fairly well controlled. A lot of linking balls to work with the top end of the table. Actually try to get on that ball over the hole, on the cushion first. Not enough stun on the white, so he got a bit centre table-ish. He's eyeing off this ball in the middle, but I thought he might leave this until second last, but might be able to screw back for the ball on the cushion. He does so. How straight is he, though? Well, he's just straight down onto it. Well, that's pretty amazing, actually. 3-all. I am a world champion, so I will just not take any time at all in looking at what's going on. I'll just get down and I'll knock this in and screw back. That's some confidence. Needs to. Oh, and he has missed the positional shot and will surely lose the match now. And Steve Gray, while in the state team, will not be. He will not be the Victorian Masters champion, but he will be the world champion. Figure that one out. And actually, speaking of world champions, this man on screen was the only person to ever pot a winning black for Australia to win a team's world title. So we've basically got, in effect, two world champions that have actually pot the winning black playing one another. And it will be Cran that advances through the final to play the winner of Donny and Jimmy. And I knew that match was going to take twice as long as this one. So well done to Cran. Obviously a little bit of fortune there at the end with Steve chopping up, but he took it full advantage and played some pretty good pool throughout that whole match. Now, unfortunately, guys, I'm probably not going to be able to do the final because I have fatherly commitments to uphold. So, but I will try and suck someone into doing it. Colby can't, she's playing. Tough spot this. Yes, the ball's available, but position. Wow. Tried to kick two balls out and committed the foul. And this is actually really simple. You just double this centre table. You can't not be on the black, but Donny's just making sure. Oh, he's actually nominated to cut it over the other one. Actually, this is missable. I don't think he will miss it, but that is missable. And I think playing these with drag is the way, but Donny doesn't use drag, so this is missable. He's just snuck it in. That sort of shot there when you've got thinnish angle, the best way to play them is with a lot of drag and just basically kill the pace of the white. So the contact on the black is pretty much at its softest pace to allow the pocket maximum chance to take the ball. We also had our junior state titles on today as well. For those who don't know, Isabella DiGiorgio decided that she'd just clean house and win the under-15s and also the under-18 ladies. Wow, how bad of me, I can't even remember the name of the fella that won the under-18s. I'm so sorry. Beat Matt Kerr in the final 3-2. Young fella from Rackham up, and I can't remember his name to save myself right now, so I'm going to actually search for it. Lachlan Courtney. Sorry about that, Lockie, mate. He played very well today, deserved his title win against a high-quality opponent in Matt Kerwood, who has just recently come back, obviously, and been captain of the Australian under-18 team that won the world title. And Matty's playing very well as well, so credit to Lockie for winning that. That's a huge win. And got a few new faces as well in the under-12s. So it's all looking pretty good. Would love to see some more numbers, though, to be honest. The talent that we actually have in the juniors, and some real huge talent, some excellent players. But I just don't think we have enough. I'd love to see some more juniors involved in this game. It's where the future of this game is. So if you're a parent and you're watching and you want to involve your child in something, where they'll make a lot of good friends and stay away from the traffic, this is a good option, and very satisfying too when you actually are part of a winning team. I can tell you that from experience. So now Jimmy, sorry Dan, I missed that score, mate. 3-2 to Donny. Wow, that's a bad miss from Jimmy. So Donny now has a pretty tough opportunity. It's black and yellow there on the left-hand side of the table are fairly tricky. Excellent cut there from Donny. If he can get that wide off the rail, he just restricts position a touch, but can drop this in. And if he drops this in and keeps himself an angle on the yellow that's on the just below it, no, he had too much angle. So Jimmy gets a reprieve. Not a lot of damage done there either by Donny. He hasn't really created any traffic or made this out hard for Jimmy. If Jimmy is going to commit to this, I actually think the ball over the pocket is the ball to play right now. A lot of people won't do it because it's a comfort ball, because it's covering the black, but I think you have to pot it straight away because this ball down the cushion, it's actually not easy to play the plant, so you've actually got to get rid of it straight away. And Jimmy's actually experienced enough to recognise that and says, okay, I need to get rid of this ball because my last ball is not going to be this one or the plant. So it goes top table just to get rid of this ball over the middle where it's just past the centre of the table. That way he's got half a table to work with positional wise. And so I can see the out already. It's pretty straightforward on paper. Pot this, pot the other one near the centre. Get on the ball on the side. Oh, he's underhit that. That's actually, it's basically need to be remapped now. Got a couple options, but I think this ball in the middle is not a good option anymore. I think playing this ball on the bottom, between the middle of the three is the best shot. But Jimmy says, no, I'm going to chop this over. Even if it goes over the hole, I've got pretty good cover. Wow, that nearly went in. It was nowhere near going in. And now Donny's in strife for this frame. Does have a one frame buffer. Still can make this out. He needs to get rid of this ball. Oh wow, that's a bad shot. He need to get rid of that ball. The white ball just ran past. The yellow ball, because it opens up the path for the one that's near the black. I don't even think he meant to use side then. I think he just didn't cue it well. He's got to play this ball up over the hole, doesn't he? He's sticking a pot in this. No, there's no way he's going to pot this ball over the hole, surely. No, he's trying to play a cover shot. So the black's difficult now. He's got a difficult red to play. You can actually see there Jimmy's got pretty horrible cueing because there's two balls in the way of his bridging, not just one. Still doesn't like it. I don't think he's got any option. He's got to play it. Wow, he's played a crazy option there. And he's got away with murder. He'll be wrapped with that result. Donnie said, you know what, screw it, I'm potting this below the hole. Because this red, I think, doesn't really go anywhere. Jimmy may be forced to pot this in the middle with some some right hand side. And if he can just get a shot to the middle, left middle maybe, even top left, try and keep his 2 shots in that black. He's going to try and kick both out, but looks like cut this thin, can in the black. No. Interesting shot. I do see that he can still go out, but he needs to play a very good positional shot off this ball over the centre pocket last. So this ball will be going in the middle. He can either try and land straight and screw back to the side rail, or he can leave himself an angle where it goes up and down to left side of table. I don't mind the up and down because you can really widen the angle and you can land in a pretty large area to give yourself a shot, and that's pretty good. That looks perfect. So this is just plain ball up and down the table, and it's all about the pace. And that's under hit, or is it? Oh, he's just caught the jaw, just. If he doesn't catch that jaw, he has an extremely acceptable shot on this. Now this is a very difficult shot. It is gettable, but just tough. Oh, he's played it bad. He's cut it like a mill, and it'll be filthy. That could end his chances to win the Victorian Masters title. Donnie's going, well, do I just play a safety here and try and extract 2, or at least get me dead ball off the rail? Me personally, I'm probably potting that ball at the top, and I'm playing the ball on the rail next, because, I mean, it's like a shot to nothing. I don't see the point of just hitting it now. You might as well play the ball at the top and give yourself a chance to win a frame at this visit. Keeps looking at it. He just doesn't want to pull the trigger and play that long ball. He'd rather cut this and just leave a safety, but I don't agree with this shot. Well, this is giving Jimmy another shot at it. I just thought that was just not the right shot to nothing. Could have gone out there. Yes, it would have been, I guess, slightly more difficult, but it was a much safer way. If Jimmy pots this, I reckon he'll win the match. This time he doesn't overcut and hardly move it. Pots the black, gets away with not going in off, and it is 3-all. Both matches been 3-all just to frustrate the hell out of me, so I can't do the final, definitely. And the handshake comes. Donnie will be breaking. Let's see which cue he uses to break. He's actually borrowed my cue this weekend because he's in love with it for breaking. He doesn't use it for anything else but breaking. And I think he put it on the shelf because he wasn't getting a ball off the break with it. So let's see which cue he uses. I don't know what's going on here. What are they doing? It must be Jimmy's break. Okay, it must be Jimmy's break then. So we won't know what cue Donnie's decided to use. I didn't even pay attention what cue he was breaking with earlier. But he does have about 25 cues, Donnie, that he likes to use on separate occasions for different types of shots. He's got a left-hand side cue, a right-hand side cue, a topspin cue, a stun cue, a backspin cue. Don't know if he's got a Massey cue or not. got a break cue. He's a cue master. He's got every cue in the book. And Jimmy has actually played the softer break. It was actually a horrible break to witness. Comes straight off the side of the pack. But has got pretty safe. He's got this red off the yellow in the middle of the table to the centre. If you can take reds, you do, because they've got the early control. That's what he's trying to play. He tried to play it. And yeah, Jimmy's got the conundrum to deal with. Can he play yellow onto red here? Remember, it is open table, so you can play one colour onto another. So yellow on the red bottom left. Don't know if it's on. And there's a fair bit of gap between the two balls, so it's not just hit it and it just goes straight in. There's a bit of work to be done. So now Donnie gets what he wanted, and that's the red balls. Can he go into the pack here? No, the angle wasn't there. So it looks like he's doubling this ball down, bottom left. Now the reason he's done that obviously is he can't really pot out. He didn't really want to eliminate any more balls, and the best place for that red was at this end of the table where the black is in play, so it's a good shot. And he's also kind of forcing Jimmy to eliminate at least one ball because he didn't really have anything but a pot on there. Now Jimmy has this yellow that's on the right-hand side of the table near the cushion. He plays this down on the red. Either dead weight and just try and put it there or pot it. Well, he's tried to blast out. That was actually low percentage. But Donnie's still got to play good out. Now, to me, this looks perfect to pot this in the middle and get a little cannon. Oh, he's just not cut it thin enough. Didn't even get a good separation. Actually, it's turned out not well at all. Now you'll actually spend a bit of time here working out what to do because this frame's just got really ugly. With that one shot could have actually opened the entire frame up and he could have actually finished with two shots. But now he's got one, the balls are clustered. I wouldn't be surprised if he just sits this over the pocket. Yep, that's exactly what he has done. Doesn't really give Jimmy a shot. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy just pot this red. Look out, folks. I'm calling shots correctly. Something is not right. So now Donnie has, if he doubles this onto the ball with the yellow, sorry, the red and the black. See, I just don't play that shot. I double that ball onto the red and black, try and open the frame up, go game. But he's just said, no, I'm going to play much smarter than you, Jamie. I'm going to promote and then sit this over the hole, close this frame down even more. And you can shut up about your aggressive play. And Donnie now has full control of his frame. Interesting to know if that bottom of the two yellows actually cuts. If it does, then that's a bad mistake from Donnie. Jimmy can actually finish the frame here. Like, tough out still, but it gives him something. I reckon it does go. Even if it doesn't, even just getting it over to the pocket and just getting separation with those two balls is not a bad thing. It puts Donnie under pressure to actually do something a little bit more permanent. He's played the I'm going to force you to pot the ball over the pocket trick. Donnie doesn't have to pot this. He can come off the side cushion and just open up his balls a bit, and Jimmy's balls haven't really been promoted into a fantastic position. Oh, he's missed. He's actually missed getting out of the snooker. Giving Jimmy 2, and this is Jimmy's opportunity now to one, either win the match or to at least try and turn the frame around into his advantage. Good opening. Oh wow, he was hoping he wouldn't get the little flick on the yellow there and going off. Not on a string though. It's white ball's in a bit of no man's land at the moment. Needs another good pot. He's got a good angle here actually to pot this and stun into those 2 balls that are stuck to one another. Probably doesn't even need to do that though. If he can actually stun past it, would be better, because I reckon that yellow goes to the centre. And he's tried to get down for the table. He's just flicked the red in. That's probably slightly unfortunate. I mean, if you want to get really critical, he shouldn't have been anywhere near it, but you know, he's tried to land on his 2 awkward balls, and he's flicked the yellow, the red pretty thin and just knocked it in. I'm going to say that was slightly unlucky. Now Donnie's basically, I don't think he's got a foul snooker. Have to have a look, but hard to tell from here. Donnie's saying, look at this yellow, I can't get past that, Jimmy. I think the decision was it wasn't a foul, so it doesn't look like it. Looks like there's a fair bit of gap between those 2 balls, and Donnie's going to play a face cut double by the looks of it. This out actually, even with 2, has got a bit of work to do. He played that very well actually. That's an excellent shot. Probably a little unfortunate with that double kiss to put the ball near the rail, but he has a chance. White ball's going to be lost a little bit here on this chop in the middle. Don't know how he fancies himself about playing this dead weight long, because that's, if he doesn't nail the pot dead weight long, he will go game, but if he misses it, he will lose the match. And the cut in the middle is a lot easier than the ball long, but you can't control the white as easily. Plus, you really want to be on this ball in the cushion as soon as possible. I didn't actually see that canter, but that was an excellent shot because he's got perfect on this red. He can stun back across side table now. And if he can just be just off straight on this red, he'll be able to just drop it in, come off the side cushion, and then pot a medium range black. Oh, wow, he didn't have the angle I thought. In fact, his angle was not good at all. I'm just wondering if he actually could have deep screwed that and pulled it right across. It's hard to know with Donnie, the way he sort of plays some of his shots. But it did just dead stun. I reckon he could have deep screwed and got high on that. And as it turns out, though, he's in a bit of trouble here. I reckon he's actually tried to get right behind this and play it up the cushion. Now this ball in the middle. I'll tell you, if he pots this, I'll almost eat this. Get the tomato sauce ready, folks. If he chops this in, this is a ridiculous shot. Yeah, I just thought that was a dream. That was just too hard a shot. But he didn't really have much on. For those watching having connection problems, saying that the stream keeps dropping in and out, I'm sorry, there's just not much we can do about it at the moment. The internet connection's a bit flaky today, so this is being recorded though, so Dan will upload it at a later date, so you will be able to watch the match still. But yeah, sorry about the dropping in and out. Jimmy Reen has made no mistake here, providing he does not chicken wing this black. and he will go to the final against Cran Wrigley. All right, folks, I'm going to take my leave. I'm sorry I can't hang around for the final, but I've got to head home. And I'll try and get someone to step in